The one and only Michael Irvin, kind enough to be with us this morning. Always good to have you.
It's always good to be here.
We're going to take a break from your Cowboys, though.
I don't know if he would have showed up if the Cowboys had lost. I don't know if he would have showed up. I kind of think he would have been scared. It's real easy to stick out your chest now, acting like they something special with a 4-3 record. But that's all right. That's all right. All right, I give you. Huh?
First place Cowboys.
For now. For now.
It's all we can do.
The NFC least.
All right, I want to focus on somebody else. And Stephen A., you had to feel good about this, that bad man putting on a clinic against the Raiders.
Boy, that man, no. Oh my
touchdowns, 5 in the air, 1 on the ground. Here was the scene in the locker room after the game, over 400 yards by him.
First time in Packer history, a guy completes a game with a perfect passer rating. Of 31, 429 yards, five touchdowns, and the old man ran for one.
Stephen A., let me ask you this. We were talking Christian McCaffrey, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, a few other names out there. But do you think Aaron Rodgers, after that performance, is now in the MVP conversation?
No, not yet. He will be. But he's not yet. And because when you're talking about right now in terms of being a part of that MVP conversation, when you look at the way Russell Wilson has played, when you look at the way Patrick Mahomes is playing, when you look at the way Lamar Jackson is playing, when you look at the way Christian McCaffrey is playing, you have to look at the level of consistency that they were putting forth from opening tap of the season. We all knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to have some growing pains. We also knew he was going to sort of work his way out of his doldrums whenever he went up against the Cowboys because obviously he's their kryptonite, and anytime he goes up against them, Cowboys end up folding like a cheap tent. We all knew that.
We on Aaron Rodgers
but in the end,
we talking Aaron Rodgers right now.
Well, you interrupted me for what you interrupted me for. Let me finish my point. Let me finish what you interrupted me for. Let me finish my point. The point that I'm trying to make is that Aaron Rodgers, because of Matt LaFleur, and on this show he's Matt LaFleur. It's not Matt LaFleur, it's Matt LaFleur, okay? Because he had to figure things out with Matt LaFleur, and the offense wasn't as stout as we are accustomed to seeing it, they relied on their defense for the most part to propel them to their winning record. Aaron Rodgers showed up yesterday. It's one thing if we're asking this question again in 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever. But right now, he's not a part of that MVP conversation.
He is a part of the conversation right now, but furthermore, take a step back. Let's look at the big picture. He's going to win MVP this year because Patrick Mahomes got hurt. Look, Aaron Rodgers, I don't care what anyone says, your eyeballs don't lie. He hit the highest level of football ever attained for that position. There's never been a quarterback when he's been at his best who can dominate a game the way Aaron Rodgers could until Patrick Mahomes came along. And Mahomes at an early, it's like he's like Rodgers meets Favre. His arm's even maybe more electric than Rodgers. And he was doing it again, but he got hurt. So let's peel Patrick Mahomes off this for a second. He's going to miss at least 3 games, okay? Let's look at what we got. Lamar Jackson's incredible. He's 22. He's still a baby. I don't believe he will continue to pass down the field in a way that will keep the Ravens as viable as everyone thinks they will. Russell Wilson's excellent, but really he's kind of a poor man's Aaron Rodgers in a lot of ways. Whatever Russell Wilson can do, Rodgers can do better. And then Rodgers' team. He started out slow. They're 6-1. He just reminded you last night that without Patrick Mahomes in the league, Rodgers can do things no one else can do. He's going to win the MVP this season.
Yeah, listen, man, and I love Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man. That's a bad man. And what he did yesterday was incredible. Now, is he in the MVP race? I'm not putting him in that race yet. And for me, I don't care what you said, man. Russell Wilson, poor man Aaron Rodgers, ain't nothing. That's the right way to say it. But African-American colloquialism ain't nothing poor about that boy, Russell Wilson. That's a bad dude. I mean, look at his team.
Yesterday.
It depends where you're from. In New York, it's nothing.
Even the one interception he had yesterday. The one interception he had yesterday. Outside of that, Russell Wilson has been perfect this year. He has done everything he needed to do to get his team where that team is, that nobody really thought the team would be there. My MVP, no doubt, is is Russell Wilson because Pat Mahomes is hurt and Aaron Rodgers.
But Russell Wilson just lost yesterday.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers won 6-1, and Rodgers had the kind of game no one else can have, except for Mahomes.
But MVP is not about being undefeated. Let's get that part out. Sure. So yes, Aaron Rodgers won yesterday and Russell Wilson lost yesterday. But Aaron Rodgers has had some bad games this year. A slow start. Russell Wilson has been great from the beginning to the end.
Okay, I'm with you. So that's why Russell Wilson right now is a little bit ahead of Aaron Rodgers. By the way, Deshaun Watson, too. There are some others. Right. But Rodgers is coming up. And when you look at the team record, which has a lot to do...
And McCaffrey. We need to put McCaffrey in here. We don't give love to anybody. We always talk quarterbacks. But
McCaffrey's top 5-ish, right? Yeah, some people have him higher. The point is the quarterback. The guy who can do things where when your eyes are on Aaron Rodgers, especially when Mahomes is not playing, you're like, what did I just see? And if he continues like this, and he has the past that shows he can continue like this, who's your money on to play like this down the stretch? Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
No.
I love Russell Wilson, but Rodgers is better than Russell Wilson.
Right, no doubt. I think he's better. I know he's better. But don't say it as if Russell Wilson is going to pull up or slack up or not play well down the stretch or choke up. But none of that happens with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is great.
He's still that guy every day.
By the way,
but Aaron Rodgers is a different beast.
Packers
and we don't
Chiefs
give him
play
enough
on Sunday. Packers and Chiefs, so we'll get to see those two go head-to-head. Can I ask?
If we're going to bring up Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to say a bad man, we have to do it right. He's a bad man. He's a bad brother.
And we don't give
That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask you a question? Because we mentioned about 4 names now in terms of the MVP race. Do you think Dak Prescott belongs in this conversation?
I think he belongs in the tail end of the conversation. Say what you will. In the tail end. You just mentioned when I said McCaffrey, you said top 5. You said top 5. Yes, okay. Then let's put Dak in that bottom tier of the top 5. You know, maybe he's 4, 5, or 6 or somewhere in there as we start talking about an MVP conversation.
Well, you would have no, I don't. Because if you I had him number 2. I had him number 2 on the MVP list for the first 3 games. Yeah, but over the next 3 games, obviously you fall off that far. That's a problem. What did you say?
But listen, first of all, let's be real. First of all, that game in New Orleans, the offensive line lost that game. He didn't have time to do anything. But yesterday, when it was on the line, he showed up.
He had nothing but time yesterday. So if you're going to sit up there and say that his time was compromised against New Orleans, how about the fact that he had enough time to sit back and take pictures and go on vacation before?
Who's ahead of the MVP race? Teddy Bridgewater or Dak Prescott?
But that's what's supposed to happen. No. I want to see what happens when you have time. Ain't no quarterback going to be successful when you don't have time. Not even
Michael, what's up with Bridgewater?
Michael Bridgewater. Assuming that he's going to get there. You think he's going to have time? He ain't going to have much time. What is he going to do then? He ain't going to have much time. He's not going to have that time come playoff time if they make it.
Yes, he will have time. They got the best offensive line. If they play like they're supposed to play, he will have time. You're trying to get him. Let's measure him when he doesn't have time. No quarterback does well when you don't have time.
Some quarterbacks do better than others. Some quarterbacks do better than others.
Oh, come on, man.
Come on now. You know that's true. That's true. I mean, he had an inordinate amount of time yesterday to throw that damn football. He was sitting back on vacation.
They have the best offensive line in the league when they're healthy. You know that.
I thought we were on MVP. How do we get back to that?
Because I did.
No, it was my fault. Because I asked Dak
what it is.
Look, man, you don't run stuff here.
You can't
Who's
take
ahead?
your
Dak or
licking
Teddy Bridgewater and MVP?
Ticking. You can't just take your licking and just keep ticking. You just got to keep trying to come back to the Cowboys. Try to come back some kind of way and get you some victory in our victory. And you can't. You can't. All you get is defeat today. So take it, swallow it, enjoy it. That's all you get.
Perfect.
That's it. Come on.
Perfect. Drop the mic. Let's go to commercial. Just take it. More First Take after the break from L.A. Jackson left his Lamarck on the 12th man in the Seahawks. Is Action Jackson already among the elite quarterbacks? More with Michael Irvin. Coming up next. Your sisters did tell me you're a sore loser.
Just take the L today.